NFL, do not, I repeat, do not let that team in the playoffs. Do not let that team in the playoffs. Because if you let that team in the playoffs, I give up. I give up. I am a huge fan of this guy, Carson Wentz. Huge fan. But I give up. There is something about Nick Foles and the way this team plays with Nick Foles under center. All the dude does is win. That's all he does. I still believe wholeheartedly that both of them in a vacuum, Carson Wentz is the better quarterback. My eyes are not deceiving me. But I can no longer argue against the results of what's happening. I don't know. There's some things Foles is doing better than Wentz. Spreading the ball around, taking shots, not just focusing on Ertz, although Ertz caught a lot of catches today. But still, gets the ball out a little bit quicker. All that stuff. All that stuff. Foles is doing better than Wentz this year. But there's stuff that I can't even explain. The defensive line plays better when Foles is in the game. The offensive line plays better with Foles in the game. The play calling, the balance, run pass, even though the run didn't work, we're shit today. We still tried it a lot. There's just something, I don't know, God or football gods are Nick Foles fans or what? But this is getting ridiculous. You know, I was on Desert Eagle's live stream last night, and big shout outs to Desert Eagle, one of the few Eagles fans here I like. You guys know how I feel about some of the other Eagles YouTubers. Yeah, I made a comment on that stream, and again, I'm not comparing the actual players. All right, I'm not comparing the players, because I can just see people like, what, you think Foles is like this guy, or Wentz is like this guy? Please. I'm not comparing the actual players. But it's like Carson Wentz is Aaron Rodgers, and Nick Foles is Tom Brady. Now, in a vacuum, Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback, the better athlete, the better skill set, all that, the better tools. But Brady wins. Brady has that, like, clutch gene. I mean, that's... Some people just have it. You know... This was a really... And it's not that Nick Foles was perfect today. There was an interception. There were some high throws. There was a fumble that he had. It was not a perfect game by no stretch. But what a gutsy performance. What grit by this kid. I can't even call him a kid anymore. But like, what grit. Dude takes a shot, misses a play, comes back, leads the Eagles down in field goal range. Throws for what, 470 some yards? I'm telling you, do not let this team in the playoffs. Because I don't even fear Chicago. I don't even fear traveling to Soldier Field and taking on that really good Bears defense. Chicago doesn't scare me. With the way this team is playing, Chicago does not scare me. The Rams don't scare me. We took care of them last week. The Seahawks don't scare me. The Vikings, well, if we're in, the Vikings won't be, but the Vikings don't scare me. Dallas doesn't scare me. I know. You guys beat us twice. You just won the NFC East. Congratulations. But the way this team is playing right now, the last 2 weeks with Nick Foles under center, Dallas, we would wipe the floor with you. And if you're being honest, you'd be terrified to take us on right now. You'd be terrified if you're being real with yourself. Not to mention, our corners are a little bit better than what they were both meetings against Dallas, but that's besides the point. Again, one last time, the whole NFL, even you, Dallas, better hope this team does not make the playoffs. Because if they do, Eagles fans might be saying the D word. Don't let them in. Don't let them in. Now, with that said, there is some negatives I got to get to real quick. Number one, Jim Schwartz. I cannot stand this guy. If you've been watching my videos all season long, you know I can't stand Jim Schwartz. I want him gone so bad. It's funny how our defense can play relatively well all freaking game long. But God forbid we get a two score or more lead midway through the fourth. Oh, let's play soft. Let's play soft. We'll give them the dump off stuff all day. It's not working. I mean, before some idiot says, well, it did work. They won the last 2 weeks. The Rams got real close to winning the game. Or excuse me, it was taking it into overtime. And the Texans got real close to winning the game, despite us being up 10 points midway through the fourth quarter. His fucking soft bullshit, his defensive scheme, his defensive philosophy is driving me nuts. And you know what? The game was really exciting. We won. Yay! So I feel like there's going to be a lot of people just ignoring the fact of how terrible Jim Schwartz is. No, don't do it. It's the second week in a row defense basically collapsed. It's gonna fucking cost us if we don't fucking straighten that shit out. It's getting to the point where I'd rather be in a tight game all the way through than winning big at freaking in the fourth quarter. I think I'd rather a close game all the way through. So that's number one. Number two, those refs are they're a disgrace. A complete and fucking disgrace. And I remember we had like this petition last year and everything about not letting them. And then what happened the very next week? We played Washington. Now, we ended up whooping their ass. But in that first quarter, there was like 5 or 6 penalties in a row for us. Didn't you feel like it was the refs like, no, you ain't gonna fucking rebel against us. You're not gonna fucking do it. No. Penalty. We'll show you what's up. I am so close to being like, okay, refs, you want war? Do you really want war? Something's got to be done. It's getting ridiculous. The NFL has billions of dollars. They've created this billion-dollar empire. Do you want to go away, NFL? Are you trying to screw shit up? Do something about this shit. There was a misfade that was ridiculous. There was a lot of fucked up calls in that game. A lot. And it was mostly on the Eagles. Most of the fucked up calls were on the Eagles. And they still, despite that, beat a team that has won 10 out of their last 11 games. We beat a team We beat what? The second seed? Or was it the first seed? I can't remember. We beat a Rams team. I don't know. They were 11-2 at the time. They were 11-2 at the time, right? We just beat an 11-2 team. And then we come and we beat a team that's won 10 out of their last 11 games, despite the fucked up calls against the Eagles. Do not let that team in. So the Vikings won. That sucks. But let's be real. If we had no stake on the game whatsoever and we were just putting out our picks, we'd probably, most all of us, would say the Vikings would win that game, right? So next week they play the Bears. If the Bears have something to play for and all they need to do is win against the 49ers today, right now, and they would have something to play for as long as they play at the same time or before the Rams play, which so far that's the case. They'd still be fighting for that second seed. They'd still be fighting for a bye. So the Bears would be playing. If I had no stake on that game, I would predict the Bears to win. I would predict the Bears to beat the Vikings. I'd predict the Eagles to beat the Redskins. And that's not just as I think most everybody would predict that. So all that happened, 2 games have to go our way. The Eagles winning, and the Bears beating the Vikings. And the Eagles are in the playoffs. And both those games, if I was a fan of some team, I don't know, I was a Chiefs fan, I don't know, some team that just had no stake in the matter, I'd predict those 2 results. I would predict those 2 results. So all that has to happen is those 2 games to go the way we would predict, and we're in the playoffs. It sucks having to rely on another team. It really sucks. But that's the way in. And one last time, I know you're getting tired of hearing it, but I cannot stress enough. Don't let that team in. Because if that team's holding up the Lombardi in February, I'm going to remind you guys. Told you. Don't let this team in. All right, guys. I'm out. It was a great game. Jim Schwartz on the defense at the end has frustrated me for the 2nd straight week. The refs have really pissed me off. And Josh Adams, there's got to be some kind of consequence for you fumbling the ball like that. Seriously, that's unacceptable. That was ridiculous. I'm not a Josh Adams fan anyway. I think he's slow. I think he's very, very slow. Everybody was trying to pump him up. I was not a big Josh Adams fan. I think Smallwood hits the hole faster. I love Clement, but we survived. That's all we can ask for, right? Go Eagles next week. Go Bears next week. And don't do it. Peace out, guys.